Hey everyone. So today I guess I just wanted to do a quick update video for you guys. Just for one thing, I wanted to comment on the new Master Grade Gundam 3.0, but also to talk about a couple other things from the Shizuoka Hobby Show, as well as my Master Grade EZ8. Now I have gotten all of the detailing, the weathering and stuff done, and I have applied my dull coat. So for all intents and purposes, the kit is finished. But I have run into some issues with joint strength. Things are not holding up quite as well. Probably because of the dull coat I sprayed on a couple areas. Mostly the biggest problem I have is with the left leg at the hip joint there. So I'm going to have to try to figure out what I can do to stiffen those joints up. Maybe use a little bit of that glue trick where you apply some epoxy or some kind of modeling cement or something onto the joint and you let it dry and then you snap the joint together and whatever. But at any rate, I figure that will be probably the last thing I'll have to do for this kit, except perhaps maybe for painting the beam saber blades with a neon pink paint or something like that. But apart from that, I would say this model is pretty much done, and within a short time here I think I will be able to have some sort of a reveal video for you guys, and I hope you'll look forward to that. But now on to the bigger news, the Gundam 3.0. And I'm not gonna go into some big long rant about the whole thing, but I just have a couple thoughts. For the most part, right now, I think it's just a little too soon to be going into the whole 3.0 line of model kits, and there's a couple reasons. For one, just it's a sort of timing, I guess, and of the context in which we find ourselves getting this thing now. There are so many other kits out there that have not gotten even a 2.0 update, or even any rendition of a master grade in any form whatsoever. And granted, I know you can't wait forever to bring out a new kit like a 3.0. You can't wait to get everything lined up, get all your ducks in a row before you bring out a 3.0. But it would have been a little better to see some other things get the attention that they deserve first, instead of having Bandai now go on to a whole new line of kits where most of their attention, probably, will be directed from now on. But other than that, I had always imagined that if we were going to ever get a 3.0, it was almost sort of a joke a few years back, like people would say, oh, we're getting a 3.0 this or that, and it's like, yeah, right, they'll never do that. Or it's way too soon. And again, that kind of goes back to my other point. But more than that, I think it's just the idea that when you think of something as a 3.0, I mean, think about the difference between the original Master Grade Gundam and the Gundam 2.0. And look at the differences there are between those two. Now I know there are a lot of other intermediary kits that sort of bridge the gap between the first Master Grade and the 2.0. But the point still stands that between these two, we see a huge leap forward in engineering and part separation and of posability, accessories, etc., etc. And for me, when I look at what the 3.0 has to offer in comparison to the 2.0, I have to admit I am not all that impressed. I would say that if I were to imagine what a hypothetical 3.0 would have been like in my mind a year back or so, I would have been thinking huge revolutionary steps forward in the model building process. Things that we have absolutely never seen before. Basically, you would get a literal perfect grade turned into a 1/100th scale. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. And while this 3.0 seems to hit on a few things that are similar to perfect grades, you know, like light up eyes, and a few opening, sliding panels and stuff, and a pretty complicated internal structure, it still seems to me that it for whatever reason, just doesn't hit the mark of my expectation as for what I thought something as big of an announcement, a 3.0, would be. But again, I am not gonna, throw out, blind hatred towards this thing. I like the look of it. I like the idea that now we can have our real grade look in a master grade form. I like that they're going with the 1-to-1 scale appearance, basically taking the real statue and turning it into a master grade that you can build and do. And there are some neat little gimmicky things about this kit that I like. Something I don't like is the idea that there's supposed to be some kind of extra accessory pack that's going to give you the things that you would normally get from a Gundam 2.0. Like, I think, an extra bazooka. I don't know if it's the only bazooka you get at all. I don't know if, like, the 3.0 standard comes with the bazooka or anything, but I know that it comes, this extra pack comes with the bazooka, the Gundam hammer, and water slides, and a couple other little things like that. But that's kind of going down the road that I haven't been appreciative of Bandai for very lately, with this whole, hobby online exclusive. It's like they always gotta make you do a little more. You always gotta pay a little more. They always gotta take a little more out of you and make you, just to give you what you should be getting from the package from the start. And, these stupid tactics, I am not really gonna go for it. I'm just gonna take whatever the 3.0 has to offer and leave it at that. At least for the initial time being. So, yeah, I just think it's a stupid move on Bandai's part. I get it from a marketing standpoint that, it's an easy way to make more money. But, whatever. Yeah, it's kind of a BS move if you ask me. But at any rate, overall, I do look a little more positively towards the 3.0 than I do negatively. I just think that if the line continues further and further here, that we'll hopefully see some of the much more new and interesting and cool features that could be made available by more interesting and more sophisticated designs, and that we don't just get larger real grades, So, overall, I'm looking forward to seeing some reviews of this thing and seeing where it goes. And maybe I'll get it, but again, that's something I'll have to figure out later on. But moving on to the rest of the hobby show, there are a few other things that caught my eye. I really like that they're doing the Master Grade Gyaradoga. That thing looks really nice. The Gerbera Tetra is finally getting that high grade, which I'm quite pleased about. The Master Grade Double Bullet, Age 2, looks pretty nice. I like that they finally give it some appropriate looking beam effect parts for its shoulder mounted weaponry. But the things that look the best to me from that show, aside from the Gyaradoga, would be the 2 real grade GP01 kits. And man, do they look nice. For a while now I have been putting off getting real grade kits. There just haven't been too many designs that have stood out to me that I think would be good just to get by themselves, things that I would really want. Freedom and Justice were kind of nice. The Zeta looked okay, but that whole transformation thing, has me worried for its whole structural integrity and all that. But, then there's things like the Destiny, which I would be very interested in getting, possibly. And now these 2 GP01 kits are looking even better. There's just so much detail, and the fact that you get transformable little core fighters in there, that's pretty cool. I know that the original Gundam had a core fighter, but that kit was, their flagship model for the real grades, so of course it's going to be their first, but it's also going to be their worst. They were getting their feet wet, pretty much, so they didn't know quite what they were doing, and it ended up being kind of a fragile kit. But as time went on, you get things like the real grade ground Mark II, which is a very solid kit, I hear, in terms of comparing it with other real grades. So, things like that, things like the Freedom and the Strike and the Justice, and now these two GPO-1s, they look like they're pretty solid, perhaps except for maybe the core fighters. But overall, I'm pretty intrigued to see what these things have to offer, and they look very nice. In general, though, there isn't too much else I can recall from the hobby show that really caught my attention, so at any rate, I guess I'll just look forward to seeing reviews of whatever comes out in the next few months here, especially the 3.0. And beyond that, there's only one more thing I wanted to mention in this video. I went to my local hobby shop recently, and I saw a kit there that I have been passing on for a long time, and I keep regretting it. It's a little pricey, but I think it's worth it, considering the plan I, at least for now, have in mind for it. And that kit would be the Master Grade Unicorn Gundam version OVA. And I figure this will go really nice with my Master Grade Sinanju version Ka, which I got a long time ago. And I had been planning for a while to do the Sinanju in a sort of metallic red color scheme. And between that and seeing Strider Prime do his Master Grade Tallgeese, and seeing this real special limited edition Hong Kong version of a high-grade Banshee Norn, I was thinking of doing something really wild with this kit. I was thinking of doing all the whites on this kit in all-clad chrome. And I know that that is insane. That is crazy. But I'm telling you, I saw this one video of the Banshee Norn high grade in chrome, and man does that thing look unbelievable. It's the unicorn mode, of course, but holy crap. In the video description below, I'll have a link to the video I'm talking about, and you guys can go and look at that and see what I mean. He has this thing on a turntable, and man, when the light hits that giant shield, it is just nuts. It's crazy how good this thing looks. And I figured doing the normal unicorn in a lighter chrome color scheme might also look pretty cool. Now, I have never tackled anything like this. This would be quite an ambitious paint job and project. There are so many little tiny white parts, and the fact that this thing transforms has me worried too, that you might, find scraping of the chrome to be a problem as well. So, like I say, this is a temporary plan, and I do not want to make any deliberate promises here, but for now, that's the idea I had in mind. Now, I don't know when I would be starting a project like this. I have a lot of other kits backlogged that I might want to do before this, especially considering how challenging a chrome color scheme might be. And in addition to that, I might be doing a couple other metallic colors, like some form of a metallic blue on the feet and backpack, and maybe gunmetal for the internal frame. I'll probably leave the Psycho frame alone, because that stuff glows under blacklight, and you know I'm a sucker for the blacklight stuff. But anyway, like I say, I might have other projects on the horizon a little sooner than this one, but whenever I do get around to this, I'll be sure to let you guys know through however, work in progress or an update, whatever I do finally decide to do with this thing. But for now, seeing that this thing was at my hobby shop for a somewhat reasonable price, I figured I'd snatch it up now while I still have the chance. And now I'm glad that I finally have it after having passed on it for so many times before. So, I guess that's all there is to say for now then. If you want to share your thoughts on the hobby show, any kits you're looking forward to, or your thoughts on the 3.0, go ahead. I'll look forward to hearing from you. But at any rate, I guess that's all for now then. So, until the next video, I'll catch you later.